You're listening to SpartanUpPodcast.com.
This episode, we're introducing a new sponsor, FreshBooks, a small business accounting software that's designed for you.
I am here with Kevin Cleary for Spartan Up Podcast at Squaw Mountain in Lake Tahoe, right?
Good to see you.
You run Clif Bar.
I do. I'm the CEO of Clif Bar.
How long have you been running Clif Bar?
So I've been running Clif Bar for a little over 2 years, but been with the company for 11 years.
Wow. And you came in, you worked your way up from the bottom, or?
Yeah, I came in as the sales and operations lead, and then moved my way up up the company ladder from there to chief operating officer, then president, and then CEO.
What background did you have when you came in?
You know, I had a background in larger companies, so I was able to get some of the disciplines from the larger companies and bring them into Clif Bar. But at the time, it was just feeling really constricting, just being driven about one thing, profit. And at Clif Bar,
you mean at the larger companies?
At the larger companies,
yeah.
Just all they're driven by is profit. In Clif Bar, we think about our impacts across people, the communities, and our planet, as well as the business.
Feels more purposeful.
It does, absolutely,
yeah.
And you see that with the company and the people, as people are really engaged and excited about what we're doing.
Hard to if you're running a big company and you're driven by quarterly profits and stuff, it's hard to focus on that. Look at Volkswagen. Right.
No, that's right. I mean, that's the thing with Gary and Kit, the owners, and Gary's the founder of Clif Bar. We're managing this company for 15, 20, 30 years from now. Sure. And it's not about the next quarter, which helps us make a lot better decisions.
Yeah. No, I'm a big believer in delaying gratification.
Absolutely.
Right? And the cookie test or the marshmallow test, and you're able to do it when you think that way.
That's right.
Like, hey, that would be, there's a company, not to get off track, there's a company where we are in Vermont, Stanley Tool was making the handles for hammers and so forth, and they had 30,000 acres of land where they had all these trees, and they would take the wood, selectively cut things, and somebody needed to make a quarter, sold all the land. Well, 4 years later, they can't buy lumber. Right. So those short-term decisions kill you.
They'll kill you, and it's an advantage for us, and we love the business we're in.
So so you come into Clif Bar, you work your way up, you're running it now. You were an athlete when you started? 11 years ago?
Yeah, so when I started, you know this as well as I do. I mean, you start as an athlete as a kid. I mean, I started out as 4 or 5 playing baseball, and then I played football all throughout high school and college. And then after that, was looking for something and got into cycling and running and triathlon. So when I came to Clif Bar, I was a triathlete. But since that time, I've evolved from a triathlete to like a hardcore cyclist, and now to an obstacle course racer.
Nice.
So this has been my journey.
And most time, I don't know if you find this, but there are a lot of athletes, I would say the high percentage of athletes that I meet, at least on the long distance stuff, the ultras and stuff, that aren't necessarily wired to run a business. Or I almost feel like the hard thing to do is sit and do emails every day, and this is fun.
Absolutely.
Right? Biking is fun. And so, but I used to try to correlate and say, wait a minute, if that guy or woman works that hard on the bike or running, they'd be great in the office, but that doesn't always mesh. Do you find that?
Well, I think, at Clif Bar, we are a company of, we're all about adventure and making great food. I mean, that's what we are, and that's who we are. And it's interesting because we have at the company, we have professional kayakers, we have ultra distance runners, we have guys who played college football, people who played college basketball, tennis. I mean, we've got all walks of life, plus people who just love their everyday adventure, who love going out for a hike.
So you're finding a correlation then between that?
Complete correlation. And what I find is that the fresher people are, so we do a bike ride every Friday from 9 to 11. I host a bike ride at the company. It's an intense ride. It's 30 miles, 3,000 feet of climbing up in the mountains. And that's part of our culture. Like, that's part of who we are. I don't want people leaving their athleticism, let alone anything else about what they're passionate about, at the door when they show up. I want them to bring it all into work, because that's when I think we're all at our best.
Yeah, sure. And where are you now with Clif Bar? Like, what's your next push? You came in, you took over as CEO, and you've got a 30-year vision, but what's the next big thing? I know me, with running a business, there's always something on my plate that...
Yeah. So our big thing now is, a few things I'll say. One is, is just on the innovation side. Like I said, we're a bunch of foodies and athletes, and we're always looking for inspiration for ideas. And that's part of, we got people doing the Spartan race from the company. And that's part of it, is how do we get that inspiration? So you're going to see a lot of great innovation coming from us. And also a lot on we're doing a lot of work right now on our food system, because our food system today is broken.
Sure.
You
mean nationally? Nationally,
yeah. The food system nationally is broken, and we're doing a lot of work to help fix the food system at large through our own purchases and what we can do, and through education.
I recently interviewed someone who runs, I can't say which school system, but one of the biggest school systems in the country. And he said it's broken. I mean, he tries to make little changes that would be so healthy for the kids, and the lobbyists are so powerful that he can't get stuff done.
Right, yeah, I mean, that's one of the things we just announced was we're spearheading no pun intended there, spearheading a $10 million fund to have endowed chairs to do organic research at 5 land-grant universities across the U.S. Because there is today no research being done on organic at public institutions. So we've announced our first one here about 2 months ago with Organic Valley and Clif Bar and Organic Valley at the University of Wisconsin, Madison, and they're going to have, that'll run in perpetuity. So that'll run forever now. We'll have somebody there doing research on organic agriculture.
That's awesome. And are you making changes?
We are, through our one of the things that through our growth, we don't talk about growth for growth's sake. What we talk about is how can we grow and impact who we are and impact the environment, whether it's the communities we do business in or the planet, through our actions, or the people that work at the company. So, on the food side, we've been purchasers of organic since 2002, organic ingredients, and now make up the bulk of all of our purchases. So we've purchased today over 500 million pounds of organic ingredients.
Wow.
And when you think about the pesticides and everything that's come out of the system because of that, we feel really good about it.
That's powerful, yeah. And so you're working directly with farmers?
Yeah, we connect directly with farmers, as well as we have some people that work closely with the farmers on our behalf. But
intermediaries.
Yeah.
No, that's great. That was pretty forward thinking, right? Because in 2001, 2002, it was much more expensive to go organic.
That's right. And even today, organic ingredients are more expensive, but it's part of who we are.
Sure.
It's part of what we're about as a company to make sure we're doing right by the planet.
What are the main products? I mean, it's the Clif Bar, obviously, Boulder Bar.
Yeah. So we've got the Clif Bar, which is the one Gary started way back in 1990 when he created it in his kitchen with his mom. We've got the Builder's Bar, which is our protein bar, the 20 grams of protein, which is the bar that we really tout here at Spartan races. We've got Luna Bar, which is a bar for women and a great snack bar. We have Clif Organic Trail Mix Bar. And then we have our kids line, our Clif Z-Bar lines, which are, USDA organic, great tasting, great food for the kids. And then the last thing I'll add is we do have our Athlete Series too, which we're also showcasing here.
And Athlete Series for really high-end athlete? Or?
Really high-end athletes, or people doing marathons, longer distance races, or even half marathons or 5Ks. Gels and blocks, which are a real big part of. And in fact, I'm going to have them loaded up in my pack tomorrow.
That's right, you're going to need them.
I think so.
I hope you're not sitting still while you listen. If you are, you better get a burpee break in.
This episode, we're introducing a new sponsor, FreshBooks, a small business accounting software that's designed for you. And I'm excited to introduce it because I, as a small business owner, actually do use this product. And I can tell you without any hesitation that it works. It works really well. They've got easy to follow instructions. They've got big buttons to push. All you've got to do is enter in your receipts, and they magically populate. All the fields populate. Your totals are right there. You hit send by mail, send by email. Your recipient will get it. You'll get an email back when they open it. They'll let you know when they've paid it. Everything is tabulated for you. It's extraordinarily easy. It takes all the hassle of being a small business operator off your shoulders and allows you the time to go out and do other things. But this month, FreshBooks is offering a month of unrestricted use to all of our listeners, totally free right now. And you don't need a credit card for that trial. To claim your free month, go to freshbooks.com/Spartan and enter Spartan in the How Did You Hear About Us section.
So let's go back in time. We're trying to find out what makes somebody successful. You're obviously successful. You worked your way up. You're running a major company doing great things, very purposeful. How does that happen? Great parents, great schooling, what is it that got you here?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of the combination of a lot of things coming together. The one thing that my parents instilled in me very young was responsibility, like really taking responsibility for your actions. Is that you're, no matter how things are going, they're going great or they're not going great, you have a role in that. So I think responsibility is something that I've really carried through all my life and still to this day. And the other part for me is resilience. Is like, how do you, because we all know, this as well as I do, and we all get knocked down.
Sure.
And resilience is standing back up and having the self-confidence to say, I'm going to tackle that again. I had a story when I was playing football in 10th grade at the high school level, and I was considered the worst kid on the team. I mean, that was just kind of the deal, was never played, people thought I was the worst kid. I thought, that next summer I thought, should I quit, should I not play? I said, I'm going to come back and I'm going to play. And ended up my junior and senior year having great years, and then ended up going on to play college football, which only a couple other guys on the team played. So resilience is key, because you are going to be taken off course, and you got to make sure that you're fighting your way back to get back to that course.
But does somebody teach that? I mean, how do you learn resilience? I have opinions on it, but I'm curious what your...
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a couple things. One, I think it is something that's can be taught. Like, you've really got to understand, where is it that I want to be, right? And how committed are you on that path? Regardless of whether it's at work or it's a physical activity like we're taking on tomorrow,
sure.
Is really setting that focus out there and going for it and being really disciplined about how you do it. So I think resilience can be something that anybody can do and can make happen. They just got to believe in it, and they've got to really get after that goal.
I mean, you have young children, I have young children. People listening have young children. It's not an easy thing to convince a kid that, you got knocked down, get back up. Right? That's not something. I've got one son that thrives in it.
Yeah.
Like, right? Once he sees blood, then he's excited. The other one, if he's falling behind, it's like, no, I'm not good enough.
Yeah.
Right? It's a tough thing to...
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think it's all the way, I think we come in in a certain way, right? Come into life in a certain way. That's the thing. I thought, my kids are going to be all disciplined and focused and have it nailed, and our house is going crazy, right?
Sure,
it's
sure,
like, how can these possibly be my children?
Sure.
But you all come in with a different temperament and different personality, but it's how do you pull out those things in the kid that really help them know that they can accomplish? Because, I think self-esteem and self-confidence is built a lot around accomplishment. So it doesn't all have to be them, finishing a Spartan race for me, or they're going to do the kids one on Sunday.
Sure.
But it's the fact that they find something that they're passionate about, and that they get after it and keep trying
and complete it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's right.
There's some studies done that telling one group of children across cultures, one group of children, hey, you're a hard worker, versus one group, hey, you're really smart. The hard workers, that's just a better message for kids. That's our new policy in the house, is that
Absolutely.
They're all hard workers.
Yeah, no, I think the same thing, because that's as in your path and in my path was, there's a lot of hard work that goes into getting to where you are, and then once you get there, I think
there's more hard work.
There's more hard work. I thought at some point when I became CEO, I was like, oh great, I can kick back now. I'm like, no, I'm working harder than I ever have.
It's worse. Yeah, it's lonely at the top.
Yeah.
So you're going out and you're going to do this race tomorrow. How do you think you're going to do out there? I mean, this is the real deal. This is 13 and a half, maybe more miles, 30 plus obstacles.
Tell me what it is, Joe. Just give me the details.
I can't tell you. You're going to war.
Yeah. No, of course. The first time I ever did a marathon, it was at the end of an Ironman.
Oh, okay.
And so the first time I do a Spartan race, I'm doing the World Championship Beast, right? So it's a little bit like what we've been talking about. It's a little about the way we attack life, right?
Yep.
So, I am pumped for this thing. I am totally excited about it. I've been doing my workouts. We had, at the company, we set up a gym, in our gym, we set up a lot of different obstacles. We even had a little spear throw and figuring out how best to do it and what works for us. So I'm excited about it. I know this is going to be an adventure of a lifetime. I don't know what to expect, but that's always the best adventure, right?
No, that's right. That's right. And experiences we're learning are much better than material things. You'll come out of this, no matter what happens.
Yeah.
Live or die.
Right.
You'll come out better.
Let's hope it's live.
You're awesome.
See you, man. Thank you.
Thanks.
He's been doing organics since before organics was, the be all end all super cool thing. I mean, he's a triple bottom line company. He has all of his employees, they ride 30 miles, 3,000 feet every Friday. He doesn't want you to sacrifice who you are for the company. And that's a lot like our dear friend Joe, He celebrates everyone's.
Didn't mean to burst out laughing there. No, and anyone who knows Joe knows that as much as he values fitness and exercise too, he drives a pretty tight ship too. So it was interesting to see him with another CEO there, and then the back and forth and see what the values they shared.
I mean, we all know, right? If we want Joe's attention, like we better be at his house at 4:30 in the morning doing burpees, or just that little titch of respect kind of. Or knocked down
like
for
today,
the day.
Or like today when we were at the barn here in Pittsfield at 6 a.m. and he's not here.
Ooh.
But we're going to let him off though because he's in Singapore. But let's get back to Kevin Cleary.
Just quickly though, for those of us that don't have business backgrounds, triple bottom line.
Okay, so you want to be making money, you want to be doing good for your fellow humans, and you also want to be doing good for the great Gaia, the planet, the plants, the animals, the water, the air, I don't know, taking care of that which feeds us all. So
yeah, and he's also doing good by his staff as well, isn't he? Out of all the podcasts, this is the company that I would most like to work for. This is the antithesis of a hospital. It really is. He's paying people to get out there and actually exercise each week, so he really looks out for them. What a great job. What a great boss.
Yeah, and I mean, they've got like 500 million pounds of organic products. And then, you say supply and demand, right? So a huge company like Clif Bar, who has all the different ranges. Like they have it for the everyday, I'm going for a bike ride, or they have their own athlete pro series they were talking about, right? So here's a company that's super adaptable and understands the market. And the guy always says, we don't do growth for growth's sakes. We do, we grow as is needed and as feels right to what's true to their essence. And I think that's a really important thing in business.
Yeah, Joe always talks about reframing and stuff, but it's also perspective, right? So here's another guy. On so many of these podcasts are self-made people, right? But he started on sales on the bottom line and worked himself up into one corporation, and then got himself to where he had the skills and the knowledge set to be able to jump over, and now he's at Clif Bar. But so that's it. I mean, so it's not the growth for growth's sake, I think, because his perspective is different, because he started down below, and it's just, again, kind of climbing that mountain 1 foot at a time, right? And now he's got this great thing because he's built it correctly. The foundation has been set as he moves up.
Yeah, he's maintained a real sense of responsibility with it as well, hasn't he? He said that they're funding like public research at public institutions.
Land grant institutions. So, it's
brilliant.
This really was a great interview about the CEO and about Clif Bar.
I don't really eat that many Clif Bars.
Well, you ate one at the start of this, and it seems up pretty good.
Kevin, I think they're good, but I don't really.
I think I was impressed with just his responsibility and how he has kind of grown the company. But again, it's from his perspective. Things when you work hard for them, they have worth, right? Yeah. So he has worked and built this, and he's built it in his image. Mm-hmm. So he's got the vision, as he talked about, a strategic thought. Mm-hmm. So he's got long-term vision. He talked a little bit about delayed gratification in there as well, along with Joe. But in talking about, it's not what's right in front of us; it's what's down the road, and how do we get to that? And there's a concept, almost Asian, if you will, about long-term,
next 7 generations,
and then taking care of everybody along the way, including, Mother Earth and the whole thing.
Mother Earth and all that.
Sephora,
he's learned a lot over these podcasts.
but Sephora, I thought of you when he talked about that our food system is actually broken, and he's got a really wide scope to what he's looking at. It's not just how can I make this company work; it's how can I use this company as a vehicle to help reset our entire food system.
Good luck. We're here for you. No. Yeah. No, it's true. There's lots of great ways, and certainly supporting organic, non-monoculture farming is a great way to start. But Kevin Cleary, thank you very much for a great interview, and we'll be at the lodge. To find show notes, video, and audio from this great episode, please visit us at SpartanUpPodcast.com/089.
Thank you for listening to another epic story of success. Get more at SpartanUpPodcast.com or follow us on Twitter at SpartanUpPod. The Spartan Up Podcast is brought to you by Spartan.
Isn't it time you found your true north? Sign up for Spartan X.
Special thanks to our podcast sponsor, FreshBooks. To claim a free month of service, go to freshbooks.com/Spartan and enter Spartan in the How Did You Hear About Us section.